what I mean, want to encourage people to do is you get used to doing this when you're walking, because then after an hour it just gets through the brain every time. It works through the lungs, through the diaphragm, through the bones, and it gets to a point. Now it just starts at the beginning, but when I was starting it, it would take a while to get to the brain, and it would go through the brain. I'd say, aha, thank God for that, because all the diaphragms in the brain, the whole brain starts breathing. And we have to spend some of our lives being in the mind, using the mind for different exercises, making sure we're not getting run over by a bus when we're crossing the road, working things out. So we do use the mind, and it's very easy to become identified with that. But as the breath, I don't know about in other things, but as the breath in holographic breathing and the movement of the breath in holographic breathing starts working through the brain, the meninges of the brain cells, it's not like the mind isn't there, but you can no longer be that stance that you are it. Suddenly you have to step back, because you're watching, you know, the mind is everywhere, but is very much also manifest as the brain in a way, or that part of us. So as you step back from that, not only are you stepping back from it physically, because to watch it breathing, you can no longer be it. You have to sit back. Oh, I can feel my brain breathing. And as you do that, you are no longer the intellect anymore. You are no longer, most people consider themselves to be that is in the brain. I can remember, as I think I was just becoming aware of it or something, and I remember I had a hideaway in the top of the airing cupboard, which was this cupboard with one of these hot water things, and I would climb up on the top shelf. It was only a small gap, and put all the blankets up so no one knew I was there. And I was sitting there thinking, well, which part of it in my head is me? And I was trying to figure out where I was in my brain. But as you become aware of it breathing, you are no longer, I think there is something in the pons, in the hypothalamus, in the thalamus area that we relate to as the seat of our being, or something like that. And that is, and I remember when my Kundalini first started going off, and it just went and went, never stopped, but it would go up my spine. I'd be lying in bed all night with this energy going up my spine. I think, that's going to kill me. That's going to kill me. When it gets to my head, I think, definitely going to kill me now, but I'd still be alive. And it worked through all the different bits of the brain. And the hardest bit was always, it would work around through the crown chakra, then it would start dropping down through the brainstem, and it was that first bit that was the hardest to sit back from, because that somehow me, and as the energy went through that, you can no longer be that me you think you are. So I think there is a place that relates to us as where we sit, or our being sits, but as this starts to breathe, the holographic breathing really is a spiritual journey. It is everything. Everything is encompassed in it. I teach it as a physical thing, but absolutely there's a whole spiritual journey in this that speeds up, or for me, can speed up people's evolution. So as that starts breathing, you're no longer it. Now with the jaw, it's quite a subtle thing, or with the mouth, it's more an energetic thing. With the hands and feet, you really feel like it's breathing. You know, it's all the cells are physically doing that. From the jaw, it's like an energy is going through, but the hand, definitely the feet, bit the hands, but the hands are less physical, they're more through the heart, but the feet are definitely very physical, and then you get a very physical flushing through the brain. And for me, this is deeply healing. I think this association that we are the mind, that we are our brain, that we are our intellect, is one of the things that ages us, because when we become that, For me, the brain can't breathe properly. For it to breathe, you can no longer be in it. But while you're in it, it's a matrix. It's held in that matrix. And the breathing of it, the moving of it, you're no longer it. You're automatically taken out. So it gives a physical way of disidentifying yourself from that we normally think we are. So I'm not sure if that made any sense. But absolutely great. As we walk, as I do it when I'm walking, this is very, and I love it. I love that. And I think for things like Alzheimer's disease, dementia, all of these brain illnesses, to get this flushing and breathing of the brain, I think it is so helpful, or will be, or is so helpful in that arena. I don't think one, you have to have, obviously, your diet has to be good and things in your life have to be correct or whatever. But that flushing and breathing of the brain, for me, holographic breathing is a fantastic vehicle for longevity and this healing of the brain. It's not like healing of the mind, because it's more like we're just not becoming it. It's not like we're trying to fix it. We are just not it anymore. We're not that thing that we think we are. We spend our lives being that identity, that person, that job, that scenario. We aren't that anymore. And boy, I tell you, they had to drag me kicking and screaming when I first started kind of disassociating with that. It was the most terrifying thing, and it never stopped. My God, that was something, I'll tell you. So a few people saw that and I think were quite worried for me. But there you go, I'm getting used to it now. But anyway, yes, and so with the walking, it's what I want to encourage people to do is you get used to doing this when you're walking, because then after an hour it just gets through the brain every time. At least for me it does. Now that I've learnt this new word, somatic, I think we're going to do some of that. You'll have to correct me if this is not somatic. But we're going to do the holographic breathing, and we're going to do it standing. And I'll show this sitting down. But what I used to teach in Tai Chi a lot was just free movement. I taught Tai Chi for about 20 years, and in the end it was just Qi Kungs and free movement, because that seemed to be what people want. So you can just I'm just going to do a bit so you get an idea of it. So you can just let the body, I'm going to move this back a bit so you get a bigger picture of me. You might be able to see it a bit better. So you can just breathe, and your body will want to unwind. And it'll have its own way. It will just start moving, and it will release all of those tensions. And it will, with the holographic breathing, this is great for taking it through, so that your neck and your brain also breathe and move internally. It gets this point where it does just warmth, just starts clearing through the brain, because it's not just a physical thing, it's an energetic thing. And for some reason with holographic breathing, because it's also this motion of the mouth, really helps that release through that area. And then it's got the movement of the hands and feet as well, breathing in, breathing out.